Welcome back, gamers, to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, we put out daily content on all things gaming related, so if you're down with that, then tap the subscribe button to see more from us. Plus, we want to hear from you, so leave us a comment down below with which video game boss was the most difficult for you to defeat. While you ponder that, let's jump into today's list of the top 10 video game villains who should have won if they weren't idiots. A little harsh, but you'll enjoy this. In at number 10, Dr. Tan. In a game as simple as Dance Central, you wouldn't think, oh, I'm definitely buying this for the unique storyline. However, the game actually does have some backstory to it, because, you know, we can't just dance for fun, that would be ridiculous. In Dance Central 2, a main antagonist was revealed to players that went by the name Dr. Tan. Yeah, you heard that right. Dance Central had an evil doctor whose sole purpose was to be the best dancer in the world. He even created robots that were believed to be unbeatable in a dance battle. Plus, he traveled back in time, and with the assistance of mind control helmets, he implemented simple moves like the Macarena to squash any competition he may have in the future. That's a pretty solid plan and involved a lot of complex scientific discoveries that could have been better used for, I don't know, greater things. Dr. Tan could have been a terrific villain if he just set the bar a little higher than being a great dancer. In at number 9, Evil Pokemon Syndicates. By this point of playing Pokemon games and or watching the animated show, you'll understand the crime syndicates in the world of Pokemon are hilariously terrible at achieving their goals. When Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire dropped though, we were introduced to these two new evil syndicates known as Team Magma and Team Aqua. Both had their own missions in mind with attempting to establish a new world order, and were quite capable of seeing these plans through. However, their choice in Pokemon was pretty idiotic. Both teams were severely limited to simple Pokemon such as water, fire, or ground types, and in classic Pokemon fashion, a child with a nice mix of Pokemon could easily take down not one, but both evil teams. In at number 8, RAFE. Naughty Dog's entire Uncharted series has had some pretty interesting villains, although their third installment was a little bizarre with that supernatural magician or whatever. Regardless, Uncharted 4's RAFE became one of their most unique choices to date. In fact, he wasn't just some leader of mercenaries or some tough guy, he was just a man who, well, had it all. He had money, power, connections, and a large inheritance of wealth. Although he soon becomes the antagonist upon realizing that despite all that he has, what he lacks the most is respect. Using this as a driving factor in his evil motivations, he is constantly trying to outdo the very respectable Nathan Drake. Now, RAFE on paper, he could have been a great villain that would win every time, but due to having this ego of a spoiled rich kid, he would soon meet his downfall. He even challenges Nathan to a sword fight on a sinking ship while also simultaneously just giving up the treasure that they both found. Even with nothing to his name, his thirst for respect makes him a very dumb villain. In at number 7, Dead Rising's Brock. For the life of me, I'll never understand the reasoning behind an evil villain dispelling their entire plan and completely distracting themselves from the objective that they're gloating about. It almost always goes wrong. Scratch that, it always goes wrong. In the game Dead Rising, for example, there's a character named Brock who is leading this special forces team attempting to eliminate anyone who is a witness to his crimes. And for the most part you think, well, I guess this is where I die, especially as Brock runs you off the road in a tank. Yet, while sitting in a fully armored tank with a loaded rocket launcher pointing right at you, he decides to just pop out for a monologue. Even as he's speaking, you can see a horde of zombies making their way in your direction, and this moment though becomes the perfect opportunity to pull one over on Brock, defeating the villain for the game. And for the deadly special forces team that he was leading, they must have really thought that their boss was a complete idiot. In at number 6, Alduin. At the beginning of Elder Scrolls V, your character is a prisoner on his way to be executed for crimes that they don't fully explain. Before that can happen though, this 1,000-year-old dragon called Alduin swoops in and just lights everyone up in sight. He even completely burns down an entire village, all of which is a bit startling at first, but then you realize later on that the dragon's main motivations in that attack was to take down the Dragonborn before they could fulfill their destiny. Although once you learn that, you kinda go, well wait, if he wanted to kill me, why didn't this super smart dragon just let those people execute me? Alduin obviously knew that the Dragonborn was nearby, otherwise why would he attack in such a way, but was he really that dumb to just not let the execution happen? kinda would've solved his problems. In at number 5, Vaas. The Far Cry 3 villain Vaas is yet another example of a hilariously overused trope of the villain that just can't seem to kill the hero no matter how many traps that he catches him in. It's like a never-ending game of cat and mouse, except the cat is an idiot. Don't get me wrong, Vaas has made quite the impact on how Ubisoft creates their villains and has largely been used as a template for them ever since. Although your character Jason Brody is kind of a valley guy who's pretty terrible at combat, but still, he finds a way out of every trap that Vaas sets for him. I mean, how difficult is it for Vaas to just kill Brody on the spot and never have to track this guy down ever again? I'll never understand. In at number 4, Victor Branco. Despite Victor's deep research into hiring Max Payne to be the protector of his family and then frame him for their murder, Victor still double-crossed the one person you should never do such a thing to. At first, Victor is quite the charming person. He's a politician looking to clean up the city, but later it's revealed that he's only looking out for number 1. Victor would go through this giant plan to arrange his family to be killed, hire Max to take the fall, and then be the sole inheritor of his family's wealth. However, he made one fatal error in judging a book by its cover and assuming that an ex-cop like Max Payne would be a great fall guy. That's the worst fall guy. In at number 3, Liquid Snake. This Metal Gear Solid villain had all the tools to win, but his stupidity just got the better of him. Time after time, Liquid Snake concocts some elaborate plan to take down Solid Snake, even pretending to be Master Miller before going radio silent. And at the peak of the game, Liquid has more than enough opportunities to kill Solid Snake, but botches every single attempt. At first he's in the Metal Gear Rex, which just demolished a futuristic ninja, but then he's thwarted by one man? And after being able to knock Solid Snake down for a second, he refuses to just finish it there. That wouldn't be dramatic enough for such a great villain like Liquid Snake. He then proceeds to tear off his shirt and challenge Snake to a fist fight. He outlines some pretty specific rules. Number 1, the entire place will explode in a few minutes, and number 2, if you fall off Rex, it's game over for you. Liquid then proceeds to botch his second rule, falling off of Rex but not dying, which just makes everything else he said laughable at best. In at number 2, Darth Vader. On paper, Darth Vader's plan in The Force Unleashed makes complete sense. Take out anyone who's even thinking about forming a rebellion and it'll save us a ton of time in the future. His plan was fairly simple. He would mentor a new apprentice called Starkiller under the idea that eventually they will be able to take down the Emperor together. However, when Starkiller starts gathering all of the detractors from the Empire, Vader accidentally fully organizes a group of disenfranchised rebels into thinking that they could take over the Galactic Empire. So if Darth Vader just took down the Emperor himself and didn't bother enlisting any help, he could have actually gotten away with this one. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Bowser. Perhaps one of the most powerful yet dumbest video game villains to ever grace our screen is Bowser. Throughout his years as the main antagonist for the Mario Bros, Bowser has come up with some pretty crazy schemes to achieve his goals of taking over the Mushroom Kingdom. For whatever reason, every time you're in a final fight with Bowser, it's as if he has positioned himself in such a way that he'll always lose. In the OG games, he would do things like stand on a broken bridge over hot lava, allowing Mario to just leap over him, destroy the bridge, and him in the process. He's even destroyed a bridge himself that he was standing on while trying to squash the famous plumber. Time and time again, he leads himself right into his own failure, making him our number 1 villain who should have won if they weren't such an idiot. And that has been the top 10 video game villains who should have won if they weren't idiots. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Gaming, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, you take care.